Hi, hope you're doing well today. This is Dan here, and in today's lesson I'm just going to improvise and freestyle. Many lessons I will, write backing tracks and have a real clear structure, but for this one, this is improvising. That's what I want to teach you. And in this particular lesson, it's going to be in sort of soul, R&B, Motown style. If you're watching this in the future, I will have a soul-based course available, and I'll put a link below. But if you're watching this in the very, very near future, it's not out yet, but I filmed it and I'm going to edit it, and I've written a book. So it's a style of music I absolutely love, and it's a style of music that you can get a lot from. So first things first, there's a pattern that I really think you should learn. What I was doing was kind of around the key of F major, but you can move this pattern. So here's the pattern. You've got F, G, A, B flat, C, D laid out in this specific pattern. And so that's the first thing to do, is to learn that pattern. But then the second thing, and this is a little bit of music theory, is to learn what chords fit underneath this. Okay, so you've got a major, then you've got G and A are minor, the 2 and the 3 chords, which is why minor things like that, which I'll show you in a minute, work. Then you've got the 4 chord, major, 5 chord, that's your dominant 7th. Again, I'll get into this. And the 6 chord is also minor. So, 2, 3, 6. Let's start there, actually. Let's do a 2, 3, 6. So this would be called, not that this is what the lesson's about, but a 2, 3, 6 chord progression in the key of F. Okay, so we've got a root, a 5, flat 7, and an octave. Now, the other thing is, I've already written a lesson on this with all these patterns. So I'll put a link below. The free PDF, no sign up or anything. I will put a link to that so you can download these shapes. So don't worry too much about memorizing these for now, but that shape is lovely. And it works over minor chords. So I can move to A, and it works there as well. And I can move to the 5th fret of the A string. And I know, because I know this lovely pattern here, I know that that's the 2, that's the 3, that's the 6, and they all work. So I'm tapping my foot. Those are 16th notes, and I'm thinking that. Little chromatic movement from the flat 7 to the octave. Going up and then down. So even just with those notes, a little bit of rhythm, fingerstyle all the way here, you can create something nice. Let's go up 2 frets. And the same thing works because it's the same quality of chord. That means minor or major or whatever. We're in the key of F, so F major pentatonic works. I'm superimposing the shapes from the PDF that I made probably a couple of years ago now, so it may not be the same root, but that's the thing about patterns on the bass. You can move them. So if I have F, that's an F major pentatonic shape. So I've got the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd, 5 and 6. And that's a major pentatonic scale. Stick a note in between the 2nd and the 3rd. You get a blues scale up the octave. So you can improvise using that, right? So let's start there. Just alternate plucking all the way there. What about little slides? Up and then down. Now when it comes to soul bass playing, I remember going to a bass clinic at the Bass Centre years ago, and Chuck Rainey was the clinician, and he said that there are only like a handful of patterns that you need to learn to master this style of music. And at the time, it was 20 years ago or so ago, I didn't have a clue what he meant, but I then studied the music religiously, absolutely love it, and I know what it means now, and that's what you'll learn now. Look, so we've got an F on the 8th fret of the A string, and there's a real classic soul pattern. It's like a flat third, minor third to a major third. That's another one where you go chromatically up from the third to the fifth. Let's stay there. Changing the tonality a bit here. I'm treating my F now. I'm just thinking of it like a F7 now. That's the arpeggio. You need to know that. So I'm just going up the arpeggio there, but making some rhythms up to make it sound less like an exercise. And there's that little flat third to major third thing. And what am I doing? Sort of a hammer on there. One pluck, hammer down with the second finger. An F7 arpeggio comes from this. Now, that blues pattern you've probably heard. This is the shape. This is called a Mixolydian mode. Make sure you learn it. It's really, really cool for this kind of thing. And I'm just breaking out of just playing it in one region. There's that major pentatonic again. I do this a lot. I have, you know, my 3 notes of the major pentatonic on one string. So in this case, F, G, A. And I slide from the G to the A. I don't know who I stole that from, some amazing bass player years and years ago when I worked this out. But it sounds really good. When you get to the 6, the flat 7 is 1 fret higher, right? And it just sounds very soul, R&B, Motown, you know, blues. Just doing a little 12 bar there. So when I went to, you can do it here. Went to the B flat, you do the same pattern. So all dominant 7th chords. As you can see, I'm making things up now, but hopefully you're with me. Remember, you've got the patterns there to download, and remember that you just have to try and memorize them and make sense of them and make music with them. Then the 5, C, this is the 10th fret of the D string. And there, I just did a 1, 6, 2. I'm using that pattern from the very beginning of the lesson that I really suggest you learn. I have another video that goes into that in great detail, and that's like, you know when you get like clickbait titles on YouTube, you know, secret, ultimate hack kind of thing. This is that, okay? This won't let you down, this pattern. Look, there you go. It's just the root movement of chords, and then when you learn the underlying chords, remember when I mentioned that earlier, the 2 and the 3 and the 6 are minor. I'm just adding the thirds in there, but the correct one, minor for minor, major for major. That doesn't make sense, watch that other video. It's quite a cool thing. Well, stick with this key of F. What I'm doing here is something quite unique to blues, and that is going in and out of major and minor. So here is a F minor blues scale. Okay, again, you just move the red blob to wherever the root note is. In this case, this is the 8th fret of the A string, and you have the scale, movable shapes. The gift that keeps on giving. So that's your minor blues, and then a major blues is the other one we learned. So I'll try and make this pretty obvious. So I'm just going to go from minor blues to major blues. Do it like call and response thing. Start with minor, make a statement like that, and then do a response in the major version. So I'll go from the beginning. You know, that was my my call and response thing. I'm making this up as I go, and that's what I want you to do. This is you can do this in any style. Obviously, this lesson is this style, but it's this idea of getting a lot of different bass skills together and freely expressing those ideas. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, there's a lot of things I don't understand here, get a piece of paper out and write down, okay, you know, I need to learn that shape. What is a minor blues scale? I need to learn that. And then it's kind of the technique side of things. You have to get your hands synchronized and coordinated. And what I'm doing here is what I want you to do, which is ultimately to use all of these different ideas of bass playing, technique, rhythms, articulations, shapes, theory, you know, and express yourself musically. I think it's the ultimate goal, really, is to be able to pick up your bass and just do this stuff and make it sound good and understand why you're doing it. A couple of other patterns I haven't got round to, so I'll stay F here. Okay, that's your root. 5, 6. Really common in this. Just stay on those notes and make something. Remember the pattern? Let's go to the 4 or the 5. The 1, 4 and 5, just like the 2, 3 and 6 are all minor, the 1, 4 and 5 are all major. This is just a hard and fast sort of rule. You can break it, but okay, maybe it's not hard and fast rule. It's just a rule, okay? And any of those major ones, the 1, 4, 5, you can do this pattern, so like this. Went to the B flat, did the same, root 5, 6. Let's go to the C and do the same. There's the chromatic thing. If you put a note right after the 6, it's that flat 7, a bit like we did here. This is the version down here, so. Little chromatic movement down to the 1 again. And you can do stuff like this. I'm staying around major chords now, and at the very beginning of the lesson I just was doing some stuff over the minor chords. Since you can play the same pattern over all those major chords and the same pattern all over all those minor chords, it's quite easy to do. You just literally move the same pattern around. Then you can mix and match things a bit, something like maybe this. So that was the same pattern, the major F. Then I went to the 6 there, okay, which is D, and this is minor. So that's that root 5 flat 7 octave, okay. It's always a bit odd for me to have to explain and analyze the things that are coming out naturally, okay, but that's teaching, okay. So I hope you're following some of the things I'm saying. Don't forget that you can rewatch the video, you can rewind it, you can make it go half speed, you can pause it. That's the beauty of these YouTube lessons, okay? But ultimately, this is going to come down to you downloading that free PDF, learning the shapes, making sure that you know what intervals are. When I'm saying root 5, 6, flat 7, you can map that out and know what they are and what they sound like, okay? Obviously, listening to this style of music is crucial, because then you can, hopefully you'll hear some of these patterns at play. You'll be able to pluck them out of the music easily and learn how to actually play these. I mean, I really could go on and on and on. I'm not going to. You'll be glad to know. That should do for now. If you have any questions, do let me know. But just try and learn as many of those shapes as possible, and just stay in one key. This was F for this example, and just learn that pattern. Perhaps watch the lesson. I'll put a link here. Make sure you watch that lesson to understand how that pattern works. Then you can place some of these soul patterns over it, and you know, I think you're going to get a lot from that. But do leave any questions if you've got any. Please do like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'll be really grateful to you for that. Otherwise, have a brilliant day, and I'll see you on the next video.